Senator Carosa, Senate Bill 508.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, for the third time, for the record, Senator Mary Beth Carosa, proud to represent Somerset, Worcester, and Wycomico counties, and I am here to present Senate Bill 508, Somerset County Board of Education alterations as amended. And this local bill would update Maryland statute regarding several processes of the Somerset County Board of Education, with the most urgent to bring the board into compliance with the Open Meetings Act and to clarify the county board may take actions in executive session in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. Following an audit completed by Inspector General Richard Henry on November 19, 2025, the Somerset County Board of Education was found to be out of compliance with Maryland Education Article Subtitle 12, Section 3-1204, which pertains to Somerset County only. The Somerset County Board of Education is committed to adhering to all applicable laws and statutory obligations. However, Section 3-1204, which states that all final actions of the county board shall be taken at a public meeting, has led to confusion about which actions the Somerset County Board of Education can and cannot take in executive session, unlike the clear and specific language in the Open Meetings Act. This emergency legislation would provide immediate clarity in statute that the Somerset County Board of Education must comply with the Open Meetings Act only, which would allow the board to promptly proceed with important functions, such as engaging in collective bargaining with the Maryland Teachers Association, voting on matters subject to attorney-client privilege, and engaging in disclosures on personnel matters and student discipline. This local bill would also allow the county commissioners of Somerset County to appoint a qualified individual to fill any vacancy on the board for the remainder of the term and until a successor is elected and qualifies. 14 other Maryland counties allow the appointment of a local Board of Education member by the county commission or county council, and 2 of those are in my district, Worcester and Wycomico, so we would be adding Somerset. In addition, Senate Bill 508 creates the statutory authority to add 2 student board members, one from each public high school in Somerset County to the Somerset County Board of Education. The bill has been amended at the request of the Somerset County Board of Education and to be identical to the House Cross File HB 1524 to give the board flexibility and discretion in the awarding of scholarships to student Board of Education members. Senate Bill 508 also adjusts the compensation for the Somerset County Board of Education members to correspond with other local boards. I thank you for your kind attention and consideration. The underlying purpose of this bill is to bring Somerset County on par with other Maryland counties, and I ask for a swift and favorable report of Senate Bill 508.
Thank you, Senator Carosa. Sir, Mr. Bromwell.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chair Feldman, Vice Chair Kane, and honorable members of the Senate Education, Energy, Environmental Committee. My name is David Bromwell, and I'm the Superintendent of Somerset County Public Schools. And on behalf of the Somerset County Board of Education, I ask for a favorable report on Senate Bill 508, the Somerset County Board of Education alterations. This legislation makes 4 changes, as Senator Carosa pointed out, to the Board of Education to update the statute regarding Open Meetings Act compliance, student board members, vacancies on the Somerset County Board of Education, and compensation to correspond with local boards of education in Maryland. It became clear to me after being involved with 64 official monthly Board of Education meetings and countless work sessions at my previous district in Dorchester County and now in Somerset County that clarification in statute is needed to prevent confusion about which actions the Somerset County Board of Education can and cannot take in executive session, and to be in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. Senate Bill 508 also creates statutory authority to add 2 student board members, 1 from each public high school in Somerset County. It allows Somerset County commissioners to appoint a qualified individual to fill any vacancy on the Somerset County Board of Education that I've had issues with, not only in Somerset but Dorchester, and create a successor and elect it consistent with the other 14 Maryland counties, and adjust the compensation of Somerset County Board of Education to be on par with local boards. Thank you for consideration to this important local bill, and I respectfully request a favorable report on Senate Bill 508. But I also want to say that the transparency since I've been on board, not only with my board members, the community, as well as the county council, is greatly improving. If there are any kind of unfavorable information that's flying about out there, that I'll certainly be willing to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Let's go to Mr. Mathias next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sam Mathias from the Maryland Association of Boards of Education. NABE takes no position on local bills, but I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay. Actually, before we take questions, you actually are here for information purposes. We have another version that's purely for, let's take our, we're going to take Phaedra Spencer from Somerset Education Association. You're not taking a position also, just purely for informational purposes only. So why don't we take your testimony next and we'll take questions, okay? So why don't you proceed? You're on the up to 2-minute clock. Spencer.
Hi, sorry, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chair Feldman, Vice Chair Keegan, and members of the committee. My name is Phaedra Spencer, and I'm the president of the Somerset Education Association. I'm here today to speak about Senate Bill 508. We are concerned with the potential change of appointment of members to the Board of Education if someone is unable to fulfill their term. This responsibility currently belongs to the governor, and we do not believe that removing that authority to instead allow county commissioners to make appointments is in the best interest of our schools, apologies. Salaries and compensation are difficult to agree upon, especially in small counties where money is tight. While we agree that board members should earn more, as we understand how much time and effort these positions take, nearly doubling the compensation amount may not be appropriate given our current local context. We agree that the Board of Education must be able to meet in closed session with our Human Resources Department, especially since this is an important feature of contract negotiations. We are concerned about elements of this bill, and we look forward to the opportunity to collaborate with the sponsors to discuss revisions. Thank you very much.
Now, you signed up as informational, not taking a position. You did sound not necessarily in that posture, but let's put that aside. Okay, we'll take questions now, and then we do have one additional witness who is unfavorable after that. So, that's a good one. Vice Chair Kagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Croza, you're always such a great advocate for your constituents, and I think having 2 SMOGs, 2 student members of the board to represent, increasing salary, that's all local option. Dr. Bromwell, doctor, right? Mister? Sorry, don't touch. Yes. There
No,
you go.
ma'am.
She's the one with.
I was close, but no ma'am, I'm not a doctor.
Okay, all right, I get it. Can you explain the justification, please, for shifting appointment from the governor to the county commissioners?
Well, I've had experiences with both in Dorchester County. It was returned to the county council, and what I noticed when we lost several members during my term there is it actually became quite favorable to the county that they were part of knowing their constituents, and it did speed up the process. They were transparent, they had interviews for people that were interested in being a board, and they actually felt like they were more part of the process than if it was turned over to the governor. I have had a conversation with Somerset County Council, and they were kind of at the time thinking the governor side of it was fine with them because they actually made a recent appointment and they were okay with that. But I don't think they thought in the long range. After I talked to them, I said, well, over in Dorchester, they did it this way. I'm not saying either one's right. You can do what you feel is best, but you do have the pulse of your county. So
So, Mr. Superintendent, I would think that Governor Moore and former Governor Hogan and others would think that they are pretty good at the pulse as well, and presumably get applicants and suggestions from local legislators and community leaders and education advocates and all that. Has it been your experience that appointees from a past governor have been ineffective or not connected to the community?
I would stay neutral on that. I wouldn't,
Okay.
in
All right.
my
Okay.
experience, I
Thank
wouldn't
you.
say it's been a problem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Madam Vice Chair, I just wanted to add, Superintendent Bromwell just came on board. When did you start? November. And, I immediately went down to meet with him in person, because, the working relationships at every level, with the superintendents, with the, Education Association, with the county commissioners, it's very important. That's how we're successful. And we have the share, and I can tell you from meeting with them and being in the schools myself, there's the same shared goal of the student success of Somerset County. To your point about the appointments, I can tell you that from my experience and my working relationships with the county commission in Somerset County, they would take the input of all the locals. I think, again, the advantage and the reason I think it was the appointment at the local level is to have that decision or to have that input at the local level. But I wanted to underscore that the input of all constituencies at the local level would factor into that appointment. So I just wanted to flush that out a little bit, and I'm sensitive to Ms. Spencer's testimony that that the input from the association would not only be welcome but appreciated.
Additional questions for the senator or the panel? Virtual witness? Seeing none, thank you. Thank you for your testimony. We do have one unfavorable testimony from Joe Hylton. Is there Hylton here?
Pro.
Yep, come on up. You guys, I think we're done, so. Mr. Hylton, why don't you come up here? You're signed up unfavorable.
Yes, sir.
We will take your testimony.
Anywhere? How you doing, Mr. Romero?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Sorry, you're fine? or-
Yep,
Okay.
it's good to see that coming out before you testify in opposition to the bills.
Well, my name is Joe Hylton. I'm a 43-year-old truck driver from Somerset County and a father of 3 in Somerset County school systems. I'm considered a community advocate. More recently, I've been very much involved in the school board and actions that are taking place in the Somerset County. So I compiled a letter, excuse me, never been in this atmosphere before, so I'm just trying to take my time and smooth it out, but I'm writing in strong opposition to any effort to weaken the public accountability requirements that govern county boards of education in Somerset County. The problem is not the law, it's too strict. The problem is local officials resent being required to act in public. The issue is especially important in Somerset County, where Dr. Dwayne Whittington stands as the county's first Black superintendent. At a time when leadership stability and fairness should be the priority, local officials are instead pushing narratives that suggest the law is somehow preventing them from doing their jobs. That claim is false and dangerous. The law already allows boards to meet and deliberate in executive session when appropriate. What it does not require is final action must be taken in public. That is not burdensome, that is being transparent. Even State Superintendent Carrie Wright and Josh Michael made clear that the Somerset County should use a pool process to select its next superintendent. Unfortunately, Mr. Bromwell was not picked from a pool process. It was exactly what we're talking about here as far as choosing and doing stuff behind closed doors. That guidance reflects the very principle at stake here. Important public decisions should be handled openly, fairly, and with integrity, not through closed door maneuvering protected from public view. Matthew Langford's own words exposed the real problem as reported by the Baltimore Sun. He complained that the law makes it hard for the board to work, then stated this action is in violation of Maryland Education Article 3-1204 because the final action is taken by vote to end executive sessions. That is an astonishing admission. The law does not prevent discussion in executive session. It simply requires final action to be taken in public. If transparency is inconvenient for the
Mr.
board,
Hylton, if you could just pass that
One-
2-minute clock. Go on.
One more paragraph.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. It simply requires the final action to take it in public. If transparency is inconvenient for the board, that is not a defect in the law. It is an indictment of how the board prefers to operate. Maryland should not reward boards that resist transparency by changing the law to suit them. Legislators should reject any attempt to make public bodies less accountable, especially in cases where officials are already showing open frustrations with public oversight. The answer is not weaker transparency laws. The answer is better leadership. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. We'll take questions now. Vice Chair Kagan, and then Senator Rose's also.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Hylton, thank you for being with us. You did a great job, so if you were nervous, it didn't show. Just wanted you to know that this committee has already unanimously passed a law that is in keeping with laws that we have worked on over the past bunch of years, starting with the State Board of Elections and our local boards of elections, all our state departments and agencies, and this year it was our local school boards. And it requires posting of meeting materials in the agenda at least 48 hours in advance, live stream the meeting, and then post the minutes out within 48 hours after they have been approved, and archive all of that. And I'm going from memory, I think it's for at least 5 years. So whether or not Somerset is doing that today, I suspect that the will of transparency, if it's not when this bill passes and gets signed into law, then certainly it doesn't take law to do the right thing and be transparent. So with the Maryland Association of Boards of Education, with the superintendent here, I suspect that you've been heard, and they can change their practices at any point, even before the law goes into effect. So thank you for advocacy.
Yeah, that wasn't really a question, so.
Isn't that so, Mr. Hylton?
So Senator Rosa, you have a question for the witness?
Thank you, and I want to thank you for making the effort to come up, and I know how much you care about our community. I just wanted to make sure that you understood that the bill itself, again, it's focused on processes to bring Somerset County on par with other counties. So I think some of the issues that you're raising from the past with transparency and accountability, that this bill puts Somerset County in line with every other county. And so I just want to make sure you understand what was in this bill. I think some other issues were raised outside of this bill, but I just want to make sure you understand the content of the bill.
Okay, yes ma'am, I understand totally the content. I'm actually gonna be running for school board, and part of the issues are, I looked in the past, and I understand what Somerset County did in the past and why they are specifically targeted under this bill. And if you research Dwayne Whittington, you will understand totally why that is in effect. And I think we don't wanna have history repeat itself again, and that's why the bill is specifically targeting Somerset County as far as the votes and everything. And again, I think I contacted you maybe 4 weeks ago about speaking on this and talking about it. I never got any reply back from you. But this is something that I wanted to talk to you about specifically because I saw that you were in favor of it. Now, again, I don't want to take Somerset County back down a road that we've already been before. Again, Dwayne Whittington, he was fired, he lost his job, and Somerset County suffered a large lawsuit because of it. Still my tax money, I don't want to give it frivolously. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, right, and I appreciate that. I'm just gonna stay focused on the bill, but thank you.
Any additional questions for our witness, Mr. Hylton? Mr. Hylton, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you guys.
And that's going to conclude the bill here on Senate Bill 508. We go to Senator Watson on Senate Bill 383. Is Patrick Hogan here? Mr. Hogan here?